Hi, Dustin. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Dustin Shore. I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm a fourth year public health major here at the University of Florida. Currently I'm going to be pursuing a master's degree in health administration. Um, in my spare time, I like to hang out with friends, play sports, and exercise. Um, in the future, I see myself hopefully pursuing some type of administrative role at some type of health service organization. Um, and as for now, I like to just focus on my studies, and as I near completion of my undergraduate studies, I look forward to engaging in some type of um, graduate study.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So how we're going to format this interview real quick is I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my idea. Then I'm going to ask you for your general opinion of it. You could just comment on what you think, if you think it's going to be successful. And then I'm going to get into some more specific questions. Is that all right with you?
Yep.
All right. So basically, the idea that I have is protein shakes infused with THC oil. So the reason that I think that this is a good idea is because after your workout, you obviously are going to have your protein shake anyways, right? So you not only do you get the protein, but you also get the anti-inflammatory effect of THC while also getting a little reward of getting to relax after your workout. Now, obviously, there's legal issues on which states have legalized marijuana, but in states where marijuana has been legalized, do you think that there's a market for this? Do you think that this is a good idea?
In states where it is legal, I think there's absolutely a market for it. I think there would even be a market for it in states where it has not been legalized. Of course, there would be legal parameters to that, though.
All right, so I really have three main target audiences at the time. So I'm just going to ask you your opinion on each of them, and then I'll ask you some more questions after. So the first target audience that I thought of was professional athletes. So professional NFL players, there was a study came out that about 70% of them think that marijuana should be utilized as an anti-inflammatory after their games and practices, and they know how intense the workload on their body is better than anyone else. So they think that this could work. I think that infusing the THC oil with protein would just benefit them even more. Do you think that it would make a that there's a market for it in professional sports?
Absolutely, I think there's a market for it in professional sports, especially if professional athletes are saying that it's something that could benefit them after training. But again, I think it comes back into not only a legal standpoint, but also an example you used was the NFL. Was that NFL has many different regulations and rules that go beyond just law enforcement. So I know now they have random drug tests for all players. Um, and this is true for not only the NFL but other sports associations, including the NBA and MLB. So, although I think that it could be a viable option for athletes to supplement their training, I think that there's also um, some ethical issues with whatever organization they're a part of.
That's a great point. Thank you for that. So the next target audience that I thought of was college students who are probably the major consumers of THC anyways. Um, I know a lot of kids on college campuses, a lot of students are relatively into fitness. Um, do you think that this would be successful on a college campus if marketed properly? Um, Now, I forgot to mention this before, but real quick, I want to just say that the reason that I think that THC oil, as opposed to like an Advil or an aspirin, is that those can act as blood thinners and can clot your blood after your workout, which hasn't been shown with THC oil. So I would like to bring this to a college campus. Do you think that that's a good idea?
Um, I think it depends. I think there's a lot of risk that comes with introducing this to a college population, specifically because not only is what a college campus focuses on education, and with that comes a particularly young population. I think that it can have some negative effects as far as development of students and can actually be a distraction, I guess, for students. But at the same time, if when you bring up the risks of taking Advil or some other type of painkiller drug, and you talk about the benefits of THC, I think that um, medically it's a viable option. But I think there's again ethical issues that come into play.
Right. So all these ethical issues are going to come into account with the legality issues. They're going to kind of coincide. Now, the last major target audience that I have is actually the elderly population. Now, the reason I think that this could be successful in the elderly population is a the elderly are obviously like they start their muscles start to deteriorate, their bones start to break down. So I think that a they should be getting more protein anyways to help build up their muscles, and then b um, a lot of the elderly have lower back pain or arthritis, and arthritis is an if in inflammation disorder. So the THC can actually help with anti-inflammatory and directly target the issue. Do you think that it would uh, be successful in the elderly population?
I think it would be successful within the elderly population, and I think that it also has less. Again, legal issues may come into effect here depending on the state, but I think that as far as the targeted population, in comparison with either athletes or college student population, I think that the effect that it could have on the elderly is negative effects could have on the elderly is way less significant, and I think that the benefits it could have as far as dealing with, um, you know, medical issues that arise later on in life, think that THC could have um, um, can serve well for that population.
Now, I know that a lot of people in the elderly population have a negative perception of marijuana, of THC. Do you think that this would hinder potential sales in this
Um,
audience?
I think that there's negative views towards THC in across all different ages. Um, I think that I don't. Again, I'm not really sure, but I don't think that there would be that much of a um, difference between negative viewpoints of the elderly population when compared to other age groups.
Okay, thank you. Hold on one sec. I'm just gonna get a sip of water. All right, thank you. So my next question is: let's say that this makes it big time, and it's a successful company, and we could get our products sold in like a major chain, like a GNC, like a vitamin shop, something of the sort. Do you think that it would be too much to ask these companies to regulate the age that they sell it to? Because in states where marijuana is legalized, it still has an age restriction. So do you think that it's asking too much out of these companies, these chains, to have to ID their customers? Do you think they'd be willing to do so?
I think that companies, whatever state they're functioning in, should definitely have to require some type of identification for their consumers in the case that it is an option. I think there's also implications when you consider the fact that there are still federal laws that make this illegal. So I think there's many companies that may not even consider it as a business option. But in the case that it is, I think that companies should definitely have to require consumers to show identification to show they're of age in whatever state they may live in.
And do you think that this would deter the companies from selling our product?
Um, I think that it would. I don't know if it would deter companies from selling your product, but I think it would. I guess lower the amount of companies that would be interested in it because I guess there's a lot of legal issues that come with having to ID someone when they consume a product like this, and I think that it can later on down the road can be a risk factor for your business.
Okay, and one more question. So I brought up the protein shakes with THC oil. Do you think that that's the limit? Do you think that there could be maybe like fish oil supplements or like CLA, something that people take on a daily basis that could be infused with THC oils for
Um,
anti-inflammatory
I
purposes?
mean, yeah, there's so many different supplements you could take to supplement your training. So I think people would definitely be interested in it, whether it be fish oils or protein or any type of supplement you take after your workout. So yeah, I think that could definitely be an option.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Dustin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.